What if I told you there's a ranch in Texas that produces more electricity than it uses and captures every single drop of rain that falls from the sky? George W. Bush's Prairie Chapel Ranch isn't just a retirement home. It's one of the most advanced agricultural operations in America. And what's hidden beneath this peaceful prairie will blow your mind. When Bush left the White House in January 2009, he didn't head to some fancy coastal estate. He returned to Crawford, Texas, to a 1,583-acre ranch he'd bought for $1.3 million back in 1999. The land sits about 25 miles west of Waco, in McLennan County, rocky limestone soil that previous owners had struggled with for years. The terrain was considered marginal for farming, with unpredictable Texas weather patterns that could swing from drought to flood in a single season. But Bush saw something nobody else could see: potential hiding in those challenging conditions. Here's where it gets interesting. Since 2003, this ranch has been generating more power than it consumes. The secret is a geothermal system using nearly 300 feet of underground piping that taps into the Earth's constant 67-degree temperature. While Texas summers hit 105 degrees and winters drop to 25, that underground temp never changes. The system circulates fluid through these earth loops, heating in winter and cooling in summer with minimal energy input required. This wasn't some experimental green project added for publicity. The geothermal heating and cooling cuts energy use by 25% compared to conventional HVAC systems. That translates to savings of tens of thousands of dollars annually, and the system has been operating reliably for over 2 decades now without major issues. The main house, a 4,000 square foot limestone structure that was built specifically to integrate with this geothermal system. The walls are 12 inches thick in places, using native limestone quarried from the property for natural temperature control. This thermal mass helps regulate interior temperatures naturally, working alongside the geothermal loops to minimize energy needs even during the most extreme Texas weather. But Bush didn't stop there. He added one of Texas's first residential solar arrays, long before solar power became mainstream or trendy. The original installation included panels mounted strategically on agricultural buildings, generating approximately 25 kilowatts of power. This might not sound impressive compared to modern solar farms, but in the early 2000s, this represented serious commitment to renewable energy technology. The panels were positioned to maximize southern exposure while being integrated into the ranch's aesthetic, proving that sustainable technology doesn't have to look industrial or compromise visual appeal. The solar installation works in tandem with the geothermal system, creating a hybrid renewable energy approach that covers nearly all the ranch's electrical needs. During peak production hours, excess electricity flows back into the local grid, essentially running the meter backward and providing power to neighboring properties. Now, here's something that'll shock you. Texas faces brutal droughts that can last for years, with aquifers depleting faster than they can recharge. The Edwards Aquifer and other water sources across the state are under serious stress from agricultural demands, urban growth, and climate variability. Bush's answer was building a completely self-sufficient water system that captures every drop of rain that falls on the property. The ranch collects water from every roof surface, channeling it through sophisticated filtration systems before storage. The collection network includes sediment filters that remove debris, first flush diverters that discard the initial rainfall, carrying the most contaminants from roof surfaces, and ultraviolet sterilization that ensures the water meets drinking quality standards. The system stores around 25,000 gallons in underground cisterns. That's enough water to sustain the household and agricultural operations for months without any external water source. The engineering goes much deeper than just roof collection. Bush constructed artificial wetlands across the property using native cattails, bulrushes, and sedges. These aren't decorative water features. They're working ecosystems engineered to filter runoff from pastures and agricultural areas, removing nutrients and sediments before water reaches the property's ponds. The plants filter water through their root systems while supporting populations of frogs, dragonflies, and dozens of bird species. The system feeds into 3 major ponds strategically placed across the property. These ponds serve dual purposes as both water storage and recreational features. They're stocked with largemouth bass and catfish, providing sport fishing opportunities and a sustainable food source. The ponds were designed with varying depths and planted edges that create ideal habitat for waterfowl and wading birds. The ranch's water management extends to every aspect of the landscape. The area around the main house uses exclusively native and adapted plants that require minimal irrigation once established. Species like Texas sage, black-eyed Susans, and native grasses thrive on natural rainfall alone, eliminating the need for the intensive watering that traditional landscaping demands. This approach saves thousands of gallons annually while supporting native pollinators and wildlife. The Secret Service bunker, hidden under the Prairie. Beneath this peaceful prairie sits a classified bunker built to protect the President of the United States during national emergencies. The exact specifications remain classified for security reasons, but publicly available information reveals the facility includes independent power generation, advanced air filtration, capable of protecting against biological and chemical threats, and secure communication systems linking directly to military commanders and world leaders anywhere on Earth. Construction in the late 1990s and early 2000s required excavating thousands of cubic yards of Texas limestone and installing reinforced concrete structures designed to withstand significant explosive force. The entrance is so carefully integrated into the landscape that you could walk right over it without realizing anything exists below. Access tunnels connect to the main house, allowing rapid evacuation if threats emerged. The project employed some of the same engineering firms that built secure military facilities, and cost estimates suggest it ran into the tens of millions of dollars. Inside, the bunker includes its own water supply, food storage for extended periods, medical facilities, and sleeping quarters for essential personnel. During Bush's presidency, Secret Service agents maintained constant readiness to evacuate him into this facility within minutes if necessary. But here's what surprised me most. This isn't just about security and energy independence. It's a working farm producing real food using sustainable practices that would impress any organic farmer. The ranch operates around 2,000 square feet of greenhouses and hoop houses, growing tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, squash, and various herbs. These aren't hobby gardens. The operation produces thousands of pounds of vegetables annually. Everything follows strict organic principles using compost, generated on-site from agricultural waste. The farming operation practices crop rotation to maintain soil health and uses companion planting strategies that reduce pest pressure naturally. You won't find synthetic fertilizers or pesticides anywhere on this property. It's proof that large-scale food production can succeed without chemicals. The ranch produces far more food than one household could ever consume. So excess vegetables go to food banks and community organizations in Crawford and nearby Waco. This quiet charitable effort has been ongoing for years, providing fresh organic produce to families who might not otherwise have access to such high-quality vegetables. It's the kind of giving that doesn't make headlines but changes lives. The cattle operation tells another compelling story about quality over quantity. Bush maintains a small herd of Black Angus cattle, somewhere between 50 and 75 head, managed using rotational grazing practices that improve soil health while producing premium beef. This approach moves cattle frequently between pastures using temporary electric fencing, allowing grass to recover fully before animals return to graze again. Rotational grazing mimics the natural patterns of wild herbivores like bison, which historically moved constantly across the Great Plains. The results are remarkable. The soil builds organic matter year after year. Plants develop deeper root systems that access water during droughts. Water infiltration improves, reducing runoff and erosion. The grass actually increases in productivity over time rather than depleting. The ranch moves cattle every few days to fresh pasture. This requires more management labor than just turning cattle out onto open range and hoping for the best. But the benefits are substantial and measurable. The beef produced is grass-finished, meaning the cattle never see a feedlot. This results in meat with different nutritional profiles than conventional beef, including higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid that research suggests may have health benefits. And here's something that really stands out. Bush has invested in DNA testing for his cattle herd, using genetic analysis to make breeding decisions that improve meat quality, disease resistance, and feed efficiency. This is the same cutting-edge technology used by top commercial cattle operations, applied to a small herd focused on producing the absolute best beef possible, rather than maximizing numbers. The ranch property includes carefully designed wildlife management features that support healthy populations of white-tailed deer, Rio Grande wild turkeys, northern bobwhite quail, and mourning doves. This isn't accidental or just good luck. The ranch is enrolled in Texas Parks and Wildlife's Wildlife Management Program, which provides tax benefits for landowners who actively maintain habitat for native species. The program requires detailed management plans that document habitat improvements, population monitoring, and harvest data if hunting occurs. Bush's ranch includes food plots planted specifically for wildlife, brush management that creates the edge habitat many species prefer, and protected nesting areas for ground nesting birds like quail that are declining across much of their historic range. The ponds support populations of wood ducks, which nest in boxes mounted on poles around the water. The wetland areas attract wading birds, including great blue herons and snowy egrets. The diverse landscape supports everything from songbirds to raptors, including red-tailed hawks and the occasional bald eagle passing through during winter migration. Hidden among the pastures and the native grasslands sits a private airstrip over 5,000 feet long, paved with asphalt, designed to handle significant aircraft weight. The facility includes underground fuel storage, advanced navigation aids, and lighting systems that allow operations in low visibility conditions. During Bush's presidency, this airstrip served as an alternative landing site, with Air Force One touching down here on multiple occasions. The facility rivals some small municipal airports in capability and cost millions to construct and maintain. Adjacent to the airstrip sits what was known during Bush's presidency as the Western White House, a secure communications facility that allowed him to conduct presidential business from Texas. The facility housed encrypted satellite communications, secure video conferencing capabilities, and direct links to the Pentagon, CIA, and other government agencies. This wasn't just about taking phone calls from Texas instead of Washington. Bush could participate in National Security Council meetings, authorize military operations, and conduct diplomacy with foreign leaders all from this ranch. The facility employed rotating staff of military communications specialists and Secret Service agents who maintained round-the-clock readiness whenever the president was in residence. Bush spent approximately 490 days at this ranch during his 8 years in office, more time than at Camp David, proving this was a serious working retreat. After leaving office, Bush discovered an unexpected passion for painting. The ranch now includes a sophisticated 1,300 square foot art studio with professional lighting systems, proper ventilation for paint fumes, and climate control protecting finished works. Bush has created hundreds of paintings, including portraits of world leaders he worked with, military veterans he met during his presidency, and scenes from the ranch itself. His work has been exhibited at the George W. Bush Presidential Center in Dallas, with some pieces selling at charity auctions for over $100,000. The economic impact of Prairie Chapel Ranch extends far beyond the property boundaries. The operation employs staff year-round, including ranch hands, maintenance workers, security personnel, and administrative staff. Local suppliers provide everything from feed and fencing materials to equipment maintenance and construction services, generating steady income for Central Texas businesses. During Bush's presidency, Crawford experienced an economic boom as national and international media descended on the small town. Hotels, restaurants, gift shops, and other businesses all benefited from the attention. Some of that economic activity continues today as visitors interested in presidential history make their way to the area. The ranch's annual operating budget likely runs into the millions of dollars, with significant portions supporting local businesses and service providers. What makes Prairie Chapel Ranch truly remarkable isn't any single innovation. It's how everything works together as an integrated system. The geothermal and solar installations provide energy independence and reduce operating costs. The rainwater collection ensures water security regardless of drought conditions. The organic farming demonstrates that sustainable practices can produce abundant harvests without chemicals. The wildlife management proves agriculture and conservation aren't conflicting goals, but complementary approaches. This is what American agriculture could become if we invested in doing things right rather than just doing things cheaply. Bush proved that technology and tradition can work together, that you can operate profitably while building soil health and supporting wildlife, and that energy independence is achievable right now with technologies that already exist and are proven to work. The ranch represents an investment in the future rather than exploitation of resources. Every gallon of rainwater stored, every kilowatt hour generated by solar panels, every pound of soil organic matter built through rotational grazing, these all represent increased resilience and reduced dependence on external inputs that are subject to market fluctuations and supply disruptions. George W. Bush's Prairie Chapel Ranch proves what American ingenuity and commitment to the land can accomplish. From underground bunkers to renewable energy systems, from sustainable farming to wildlife conservation. This 1,583-acre operation demonstrates what's possible when vision meets resources and determination. If you found this fascinating, subscribe for more stories about America's most innovative farms and the people proving that agriculture's future can be both profitable and sustainable.